Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Lisa Nandy, the one that they always put on when they want to get a good laugh at the expense of this government. We need someone from the Labour Party to make them look stupid. Get Lisa Nandy on, she'll do. Oh yeah, Nandy. She's the biggest moron of them all, isn't she? She's bound to be stupid and open that mouth and show how dumb they are. And on she comes, and time after time, Mr. Reliable, you could call her. She goes on, opens the beak, and the stupid pours out, doesn't it? And she's been doing it again. All over Jonathan Reynolds, over his claims that he was a solicitor. Clearly wasn't. He's made claims in biogs, in his CV, in literature that he's come out of the Parliament. He's stood up in Parliament and said it himself. There's video of it. There's no going back. There's no denial. The jury will come back and the verdict will be guilty. But Lisa Nandy has been wheeled on, the duty idiot, and said, go and protect him, will you? I'll do me best, she says. And then she wobbles, sits in the studio, and Nick Ferrari, who was interviewing her, asked her the question why the business secretary found it necessary to lie about his work history on his CV. Basically lying about his background and that. And Lisa Nandy sort of rabbit in the headlines and then was remembering the well-rehearsed words that she'd obviously been drilled into us by some policy wonk. Sort of said, and she started, and I'm going to have to read this to you. It's a bit longer than I can remember, but it's good. She said, I don't think Johnny lied about his background for a minute. He has never pretended to be a solicitor. There was a duplicate entry on LinkedIn written by a staffer, one of which said he was a trainee solicitor, which he was, and one of which said he was a solicitor. He corrected that, which has sparked this story. Oh, Lisa, you idiot. Do you not pay attention to what's going on? I don't think Johnny lied about it for a minute. Well, it shows how stupid you are, because, yes, he lied about it for years. He said he's never pretended to be a solicitor. I suggest you go and watch the video where he stands up in Parliament and says, when I was a solicitor in Manchester, so he did. And he said there was a duplicate entry on LinkedIn. Anyway, it turns out that there wasn't. There was never any duplicate entries. There wasn't one that said he was a solicitor and one that said he was a trainee solicitor. And he didn't correct it. He eradicated it, or at least somebody on his team did. So, wrong on every single thing she says. For Lisa Nandy, that's normal anyway. But particularly with this story, which is relevant and current, wrong on every single thing. He did call himself a solicitor, and he passed himself off as a solicitor time and time and time again. There's no two ways about it. And then, of course, he starts to blame his team, which is never good because you've got to rely on your team. So you're throwing your team under the bus. How do you think that's going to go down with your team? Like a cup of cold sick, isn't it? Next time you need them to cover for you, they're going to go, fuck you. And it was not, this whole story, wasn't sparked by LinkedIn. Not at all. It was sparked by people investigating his background and checking what he'd put on his parliamentary CV, not LinkedIn. And of course the very words he himself had said as well. So it wasn't LinkedIn. And the guy never qualified. He was only there 9 months or so. Nowhere near long enough to become a solicitor. And indeed, the Solicitors Regulation Authority, the body, wrote to him back in January. Beginning of January. And said to him then, please stop referring to yourself as a solicitor. You never were. Now, of course, like Rachel Reeves, he's blaming his staff, throwing them under the bus. Again, she did, he does, because none of them can ever make this mistake. None of them are responsible for the lies they tell, trying to big themselves up, trying to make themselves look more important than they are, trying to make it as though they look as though they've actually ever had a job. None of them have they? They're all professional politicians. Which is why when they do leave Parliament, when they're caught and out and have to go, They haven't got a clue what they're going to do. They've got no qualifications. Starmer did it as well. And Starmer at the CPS, he put something on that he was bigger and better than he was, and he wasn't. But you should never blame your staff. Stand up, be a man. Just be a man and say, yes, okay, I was bigging myself up, and then sit down and resign. They're all pathetic. This is the thing. They're doing it because they think that it makes us respect them more. I have got no respect for any of them. They're all dogs. They're all horrible pigs. Zero respect. I don't give a shit if you were a solicitor or not. You are still lower than dog shit in my estimation. But for now, for you to lie, you're not even dog shit. I mean, it is a joke, isn't it? That I need to feel important. That's what it is. It's all ego rubbing, isn't it? It's huge swinging dicks. Look at me. I'm more important than you because I've got a qualification. No, you haven't. You lying liar. My dog is more qualified in the law than you are. For heaven's sake. I mean, it's a joke, and these people go on and on. But, what's he going to do? And they do it. And you have to, all we're sitting here waiting for now is, the next one and the one after that. You can guarantee lots of them well, I'd put it the other way around. I reckon there's going to be a lot of edits over the next few days. People editing LinkedIn, editing CVs, editing this, editing that, trimming it back a bit, maybe not filling in the gaps in the work history that people do, because you do that on the CV, don't you? There's a couple of months unemployed there. Let's cover that by going, into that gear and I was there, sort of thing. And you fill your CV gaps. We all done it, but there's a difference between filling a gap on a CV and claiming that you are something that you never ever were. Filling a couple of months on between jobs so it doesn't look as though you were unemployed that period 5 years ago. Yeah, okay, I'll let you off with that. But saying you were saying you're an accountant, saying you're a solicitor when you clearly weren't, that's beyond the pale. That's actually a crime. Anyway, I wonder if he'll get prosecuted for it. Probably not. But I bet he's been put in his position because people thought he was a solicitor. If that's the case, then definitely got to resign. Anyway, let me know what you think. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.